Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And let's start by talking a little bit more about Bandai's latest hobby new item info event. During the event, they announced absolutely zero new Gunpla, meaning that for the time being, we have no new Gunpla releases for March, April, and May. But I did say that I'm still somewhat hopeful that Bandai might have some kind of hidden ace up their sleeve and that they might still announce something. And quite a few of you did agree with that statement in the comments, because it is crazy to think that Bandai would go 3 months without a single new retail Gunpla release. And we do have one piece of evidence that might be supporting this. On the banner image for the Gunpla announcements, it only says June. And now, when I first saw this image, I thought that this just meant that there were going to be no releases for April and May. But it could just mean that they only announced the Gunpla kits for June, and that April and May may be announced at a later date because, who knows, Bandai might be planning something for those months. But as far as I know, this was never explicitly stated anywhere, so it can still go either way. And outside of that hobby new item info thing, we got some more Gunpla news. It was announced that on December 24th, Hoshimachi's latest single will be releasing for 1,400 yen, 9 US. The tracklist that we know about so far is GQuuuuuX's ending song and the Yoru ni Zaku insert song, and it also comes with a bonus picture ticket. But if you can wait a little bit longer, then on March 25th, you'll be able to get one of 2 limited editions that both go for 6,000 yen each, 38 US. They both come with everything that the normal version comes with, but then the B set comes with a conch-styled acrylic packaging, and the A set comes with a high-grade RX-78-2 Gundam and high-grade Zaku 2 Gunpla set, which also has a set of Hoshimachi Suisei marking stickers. Unfortunately, we don't have any pictures yet, so we don't know if the kits will also have some kind of special color scheme. But I do find it kind of weird that we are seemingly getting the standard UC versions of the RX-78-2 and the Zaku. Since the single is about GQuuuuuuX songs, I would have expected either the white or the red Gundam to be included, and then one of the GQuuuuuuX Zakus. But so be it. And then yesterday, they announced the Mobile Suit Gundam Operation V Biscuits. Each package comes with 21 grams of biscuits featuring the main characters from the OG Gundam printed on them, and one of 5 random mini SD Gunpla kits. There is the RX-78-2, the gun cannon, the gun tank, the G-Fighter, and then a twin core fighter set that also comes with extra weapons for the Gundam. And for being so small, they do look really nicely detailed and color accurate on top of that. And you can even combine the Gundam with the G-Fighter to make all of its different configurations. They're slated for a July release, and one package will only set you back 396 yen, 3 US. I totally would have gotten a 10-pack of these, but pre-orders were unfortunately already closed on Hobbling Japan by the time that I saw that they had these. So the irony here is that they actually announced more Gunpla kits this week outside of their new hobby item info event thing. And for even more snacks, in March you'll be able to get the 5th volume of Gundam Niiformation Wafers. One package will cost you 149 yen, around $1, and comes with 1 cocoa cream flavored wafer and 1 Hathaway's Flash Gundam Seed Destiny or Iron Blooded Orphans sticker. There's a total of 34 to collect, 4 of which are secret. For the figure news then, we quickly go back to Tamashii Nation 2025 because there's a few things that I still have to talk about from that show. First up, the Robot Spirits Zaku 2 High Mobility Type R2 Robert Gilliam Custom. When I was working on last week's Gundam news, I only saw the images from Dengeki Hobby where they zoomed in on the figure itself and its title card that said display only. But then on the Gundam official website, they had pictures that were a bit more zoomed out, showing us another card that was standing next to it, telling us that this thing is getting a release. So, like I said during the video, display only is like their way of saying that it's most likely gonna get a release, but it's not 100% certain yet, so don't get angry if it doesn't actually get a release. Like with the Metal Robot Spirits, Xavier's Gyan Hakuji packs, and the massive Robot Spirits Hyper Gundam GQuuuuuX version. And if you missed the memo, Hyper Gundam is apparently the name for the RX-78-2 in its giant grey form from the final battle. So yeah, if this thing is getting an actual release, then Robot Spirits has been making a lot of bigger figures recently. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, they also announced the Mobile Suit Gundam Robot Spirits Miniature Collection. In December, for 500 yen a spin, 3 US, you'll be able to get a Gachapon-sized Robot Spirits RX-78-2 Gundam, Gun Cannon, Char Zaku 2, or regular Zaku 2. And what is like completely crazy about this is that they even come in a faithfully miniaturized Robot Spirits box. But of course, based on the images, it doesn't look like the figure can actually move, understandable, being how small they are, and the extra accessories also look like they're just printed on the clear plastic of the box. Again, totally understandable. So yeah, the figure announcements this week were definitely a lot more impactful than the Gunpla announcements this week. And outside of all of those big announcements, we also got a few smaller announcements, like the MS Mechanical Bust 9 Destiny Gundam Spec 2 Gachapon. One spin will set you back 500 yen, 3 US, and you can get a clear armor set, a colored armor set, or the frame set, which also comes with light-up functionality. So you will need to spin at least twice to get a full figure. And then yesterday, they also announced the 29th Gundam Converge lineup. It'll be releasing in May, and for 693 yen a pop, for US, you can get the 00 Quanta, the G-Fred, the Woundward, the Hazel 2, the Messer FO2, and the Reborn's Gundam. And each will of course come with a soda-flavored piece of chewing gum. On to the Iron-Blooded Orphans news then, where a new week meant a new set of freebies for people who went to see the Order Hunt movie in Japanese theaters. The short manga and the mecha visual illustration card have remained the same, but the mini illustration card is different. And what they also announced is that from February the 28th until March 22nd, they'll be holding an Iron-Blooded Orphans Sweets Fair in Animate. So we'll get some of the characters on a variety of goods in pâtissier style. You'll be able to get Mika, Orga, Chocolate Man, and Gali Gali on an acrylic stand, a playmat, a chocolate bar styled keychain, and as a sticker with the one edible thing in this entire campaign. A box of Chocolate Man's chocolate cookies, and that is the actual name of this thing. And you can get even more characters as a mini acrylic stand, ID pictures, or on an eco bag. Plus, for every 1,100 yen you spend, you'll get one of 7 random bromides. Meanwhile, on the gaming front then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Silhouette Gundam Kai has joined the fray, while on Steam the Zaku 2 High Mobility Type R3S has become available. In the global version of UC Engage, the UR Anavel Gato in his Fedi uniform, and the UR GPO2 MLRS has become available, while in the Japanese version, they are celebrating 4.5 million downloads. And in SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, they're celebrating the fact that the game has won 2 awards across 10 regions at the Google Play Awards. One for Best Story, and one for straight up the best game of 2025. So again, Eternal seems to be performing quite well. And they also announced that on the 30th, they'll be releasing a special scenario called The Changemakers to celebrate the upcoming Hathaway's Flash, The Sorcery of Nymph Circe movie. And on the same day, they're also adding Hathaway's Flash main stages. And finally, for the Arsenal-based arcade game, FQ boosters went up for sale for 4 Squad Season 5, giving us 29 new cards, plus 9 alt versions of those new cards to collect, for a total of 38. And the flagship ones are cards like the Zeong and Char, the Tallgeese 3 and Preventer Definitely Not Zex Wind, and Puru2's Q-Blade Mark II and Puru 2. In other news then, Gundam Wing Endless Waltz will be shown at the Okinawa Animation Festival 2026 on January 24th and 25th, and the Yasuhiko Yoshikazu Divine Animator and Draftsman exhibition has begun in the Shoto Museum of Art in Shibuya, and will last until February the 1st, so if you're in Tokyo, definitely worth a visit. As for the things you could get this week then, we began with a very interesting selection on the 17th. For 4,389 yen, 28 US, you could get the Char Zaku 2 Light Book, a Char Zaku 2 head-shaped reading light that has 3 lighting modes. Everything on, just the head, or just the mono eye. Next up, for 500 yen a spin, 3 US, the Mobile Suit Ensemble version Fukuoka Gachapon got a restock over at the Namco Lalaport in Fukuoka. You'll be able to once again get the RX-93FF New Gundam, the Long Range Fin Funnel, the MSN-04 FF Sazabi, the Double Horn Funnels, and an option set with a bid for both of them. We've got a shield and beam rifle for the new Gundam, and a shield, beam rifle, and beam axe for the Sazabi. And if you can't make it to Fukuoka, it'll also get a restock at other Namco locations at some later date in the future. And finally on the 17th, the GQuuuuuX and Toyo Suisun collaboration went live, giving us not just Char and Shalia inspired cup noodles, but also a commercial featuring Char telling Shalia how they made noodles based on him. Only for Shalia to then tell Char that they also made some based on him.
大尉、この度赤い狐から私の限定商品が発売されることになったのだよ。
実はそのお話、私にも来ており。ん？あの時、大佐は何を言おうとしていたのですか？
最高のマブ、出る。赤い狐と緑のタヌキ。
Next up on the 19th, you could get the Yoshikazu Yasuhiko Animation Music Collection. It goes for 3,850 yen, 25 US, and comes with 2 CDs filled with music from all of the animes that he's worked on, going all the way from Brave Raideen in 1975 to Kukuro's Dewan's Island in 2022. And of course, it also comes with some beautiful box art done by the man himself. Today then, we got a nice variety of Gunpla and figures, with without a doubt the most anticipated one being the Master Grade Barb's Loops. This bad boy goes for 7,150 yen, 46 US, and it comes with the sword mace, the twin maces, 2 200mm guns for the arms, a standing Mika, a sitting Mika for in the cockpit, a bunch of marking stickers, and an upgraded frame with better shoulder and waist movements. And as a bonus feature, it also came with some controversy about the way that the front skirts on the box art were drawn. Because of the angle that they're at, and also because of the shadows, they look very different from each other at first sight. And this then led to a number of accusations of it just being bad art, or even that AI was used on it. But I would say that it's really just an optical illusion caused by the design of those front skirts, again in combination with the angle and the shadows. You can even see the same thing kinda happening on this promotional image, which is the actual model kit. And the other Gunpla kit that released today was the Option Part Set Gunpla 18 Build Booster Set. This set goes for 1,210 yen, 8 US, and is simply a combination of the Build Booster and the Build Booster Mark II. And you can then build both of these Gunpla with the new Gundam Marker EX holographic markers. The set goes for 1,650 yen, 11 US, and comes with the MEPE holographic yellow, Wings of Light holographic blue, and Psycho Frame holographic green. And from Ichiban Kuji, you could go for their third GQuuuuuX lottery. One ticket will cost you 800 yen, 5 US, and you'll always win something. But of course, the higher prizes are much more impressive than the lower prizes. On the low end, we have clear posters with screenshots from the anime, acrylic keychains with different screenshots from the anime, a jacker towel featuring the GQuuuuuX, G-Fred, Horo, or Xeon, or a plate with various designs inspired by the anime. And if you're more lucky, you'll be able to get a mobile suit bust magnet featuring either the GQuuuuuX, G-Fred, Red Gundam, Char Zaku, regular Zaku, or Xavier's Hakuji, a big towel, or a slightly derpy looking Machu pilot suit version masterlized figure. And then if you're really lucky, the big main prize is a GQuuuuuX Bustizen figure, which then gets even more impressive if you also manage to buy the last ticket off a set, because then you'll also get the GQuuuuuX Endymion unit active Bustizen figure. And finally, releasing in late November were even more figures, with the most expensive one being the Gundam Guys Generation Char Aznabla, Char's Counterattack version. The figure goes for 25,300 yen, 161 US, and will make for the perfect display piece next to a Sazabi or the Amuro Ray Char's Counterattack version from the same line. For 4,620 yen a pop then, 29 US, you can choose between the Lookup figure Machu or Lookup figure Nyaan. Adorable little super deformed figures with a ball jointed head, so they can always be looking at the item of your choice, or even at you, even though you could have sworn that just a second ago they were looking somewhere else. And if you bought the set from Premium Bandai, you also got a bonus cushion for them to sit on. And then finally, for 3,850 yen a piece, 25 US, you could go for the Gundam Military Generation Collection No. 7, Kaishiden Normal Suit version, or the Gundam Military Generation Collection No. 8, Romaral Normal Suit version. And both figures come with very comparable accessories. What they have in common is that they come with a normal head without a helmet, a head with a helmet, an optional part so that you can have the helmet with or without the visor, and 3 sets of hands. Kai then comes with a pistol, a holster, and 2 multi-purpose pouches, while Ramba comes with a machine gun. For this week's reading material then, the biggest news was without a doubt an interview that Haruhiko Mikimoto had with Forbes. It goes over a bunch of things, but I want to focus on one specific Gundam-related thing in the interview, so I will have the full thing down below. When I think about Gundam and Haruhiko Mikimoto, one of the first things that I think about is Gundam Ecole du Ciel. It was one of the first Gundam manga that I bought, and I immediately fell in love with both the story and the very cool art style that it had. But because of other work that he had, it unfortunately had to be put on hold, and it has been on hold for quite a few years now. But in this interview, Mikimoto said that there are talks going on about continuing the manga and wrapping up the story. He said that the story is more or less done, and that it's really just a matter of discussing the details now. So it sounds like the manga could be continuing relatively soon now, but unfortunately, working on those details has been going on for quite a few years now. And from another famous designer, we got this really nice art book, the Shigeta Satoshi Works Mechanical Art Book. For the apparel news then, Strix kicked things off with some Order Hunt and Iron-Blooded Orphans 10th anniversary items, all of which have become available in physical Strix stores on the 15th. And there are a bunch of different items available. For 5,500 yen, 35 US, there's an Order Hunt commemorative t-shirt. For 1,320 yen, 8 US, there's a really cool Barb's medal. For 990 yen a pop, 6 US, you can get a Mika, Orga, Barb's, Hajiroboshi, or Wisterio badge. For 1,430 yen, 9 US, you can get a Tekadon badge with a case. And for 1,210 yen, 8 US, you can get a Tekadon or Gallarhorn themed Jacquard handkerchief. And then finally on the 22nd, which is today Japan time by the time this video goes live, the newest Strix arms collection will be hitting physical Strix stores as well, featuring items like a Xeon-themed tanker's jacket for 26,400 yen, 168 US, an Amuro Ray or Neo Xeon flavored MA1 jacket for 27,500 yen, 175 US, or a Char Zaku or regular Zaku flavored personal effect bag for 7,700 yen, 49 US. And on top of these new items, the Red Comet inspired MA1 jacket will be getting a restock for 27,500 yen, 175 US. Over at Bancoda then, they began with their usual stuff, a bunch of acrylic stands. This time featuring the main cast from GQuuuuuX as a connectable acrylic stand for 1,100 yen each, 7 US. And somewhat related to GQuuuuuuX then is this black or white Lawless Custom Mobile Armor t-shirt. It goes for 4,400 yen, 28 US, and features the Elmoth with its bits flying around, ready to pull off a devastating all-range attack. And all of these Bancoda items are slated for a January release. And that has been all for this week's Gundam News. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam News.